Good evening, everybody. Hello. Okay, people are still joining up as always. Good evening. I hope you guys are well. It's been an interesting couple of weeks since my last webinar, but we're back. Hello, Sally. Let me just open participants so I can see who we have joining and just check the numbers. Chat, Francois, how's it, buddy? Tracy, good evening. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight, I'm just waiting for people to join up and we'll go from there. Vic, hi. I did see your message about travel. I will get back to you. It's been, the world has been spinning around more than twice a day, as they say. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks. But what we're going to do tonight, very simple, but one of the functions that not many people use inside of Lightroom. So just to show you how you can add watermarks to your images directly out of Lightroom. Now, just as we're waiting for people, I'm just doing my normal housekeeping thing. If you have any questions, Q&A based, pop them in a Q&A tab for me. I will check back in between and right at the end. And then also, I will keep the chat function open throughout the entire trip. See, that's what I want to be. I want to be on a trip. I guess you guys can relate. And throughout the entire webinar, and then I will manage the chat and we can go from there. Are you going to tell us how to use our own signature? Yes, we can do that, Sally, absolutely. So, just before we get going and I take you into Lightroom, two things. Linda, hello, how's it going? Is how many of you are currently using Lightroom to put watermarks on your images? In the chat function, please let me know. Let's have a look. Yes, yes. Okay, some no's, yeses, it's a bit mixed. Okay, it is super effective. And then, okay, let me quickly just dig a bit deeper so I know where to take this. How many of you that are currently using the watermark feature inside of Lightroom? How many of you are using just text at the bottom, or are you using an actual PNG, like a picture or a signature? Which one are you currently using? I've got PNGs. I want to add my signature. Okay, PNG, text, PNGs. Okay, this is easy, just text. Okay, where and how? Okay, cool, done. Okay, so the first thing, let's just quickly get a little bit of a discussion around watermarks out of the way. People don't always know whether they should or shouldn't put it on, right? Because if I put my images out there and my name's on it and big, someone's going to steal my work. Here's a news flash. If people want to steal your stuff online, they will steal your stuff online. If you don't want people to steal your stuff online, don't post it online. 3 or 4 years ago, it might even be more, about 5 years, we were still in the old office. And let me just quickly fix that. Sorry, my audio dropped. Okay, I think I'm back. Right, sorry, can you guys? Okay, I'm back. You guys can hear me? Yes, just a quick thumbs up. Yes, audio technical issues. Yes, okay. So we did an exercise in the Wilder office where I took one of my images, right? My big images, and I literally in Photoshop wrote copyright Gerry. Okay, sorry, my audio is going off again. Okay, just see here. Okay, sorry, can you guys hear me now? Technical issues. Yes. Okay, cool. So, and I wrote in very, very big letters across this image, copyright Gerry. And I said to Andrew, right, get rid of it. And we literally went online and we Googled watermark remover or something in that vein. And we downloaded like a little 3 or 4 megabyte file. It was nothing at the time. And literally you just drew around it and it removed it. You could see there was something, but the technology is there to remove. So again, if you don't want people to steal your work, right, don't put it online. It's nasty and ugly, but that's what it is, right? The idea of putting a watermark on there is just to show ownership and to say that this is mine, my copyright. I can just wish if I put something out there with my copyright on it, that if someone's going to share it or if they're going to use it, it's still on there. Hopefully they don't cut it off. Very different discussion. But for now, yeah, you have to do low resolution images. Yeah, you have to do low res. So for now, though, that is just a little bit of an intro into this thing. And we're going to now look in Lightroom how simple and easy it actually is to do. This is super quick. We're going to be done in 10 minutes. Yeah, but we're going to dig deep and just kind of see what you can do with it. And if you guys want, we can look at PNGs and how to add them. How many of you, just quickly in the chat function again, how many of you use your actual signature? Like you've signature on a paper and you've PNG'd it into the computer and now you're using that. How many of you are doing that? Too dodgy. Don't know how. Not stored in exit info. I don't know how. Okay, the watermark we're going to do actually get placed on the image. So it's actually JPEG. You can add your copyright into the EXIF info at camera level. Okay, so how many of you want to add your signature? Oh, I like that. And you on last year. Yes, like those cursors will apply. Okay, copy that. So just out of interest, what you would have to do, and once we're finished with the Lightroom part of it, I will show you how. But just out of interest, about a week ago, I had to sign a document, like a financial document for the company. So we had to sign stuff. I tried to do it first on my trackpad like this. Didn't work. I tried to do it with my mouse. That didn't work. So please don't try and do your signature in Photoshop with a mouse. Not going to look cool, right? Just for the record. What you have to do is you have to get a blank paper and a big marker, black marker, not the fattest one you can find, but not a normal pen. And then you do a big signature, you scan it into computer, and then use Photoshop to turn that into a PNG, right? Where it's got a clear background. But we'll get to this. That's cool. Thank you for joining. All right. So I'm going to quickly take you into Lightroom. I'm going to show you the basic outlay, and then we can go from there. Into Lightroom we go. All right. So as always, guys, just confirm for me, please, that you can indeed see my screen on what I've got here. A couple of leopards, a couple of lions. Okay, we like it when things work. Okay. Right. So this is not a processing exercise. This is purely looking at how to add a watermark onto your images. Now, for the purposes of this, I'm going to use Instagram as a base, but you can use anything, right? What we do at Wild Eye is I've created a standard one for all the guys with the green chameleon and then at Gerry van der Walt underneath. So for me, it's easy. I literally, on every single one, when I export, it gets added on there. We're looking at a few cosmetic changes to the company, but that's coming up in due course. You'll have to wait for that. But a lot of people choose, when they do their watermarks, to depending on what the content is. So for example, let's look at something like, I don't know, like this, right? Here, if you stock standard, always, for example, have your copyright bottom left over here. I've had clients who say, thanks, Michael, that, you know what, it's cool, but now the visual mass is thrown off because the lines on this side and the signatures on the side. So you want to balance it aesthetically and now put the watermark on this side. That's fine. There's no right and wrong here. The how, I'm going to show you. The why and where you put it, that's up to you. So for stocks, for ease of use and from a branding point of view, we're talking social media later in the week, but for a branding point of view, I like it to always be on the same place. It's nice for me to look through and see, oh, Wild Eye with my guys, because I know where to look for it. But if you feel you want to throw your watermark around based on the content of your image, easy. And I can show you how to do that as well. Okay, so in we go. Let's say, for example, we've now processed this image and we're now ready to go to export. So right click, I go to export. I did do an export in the workflow. If you guys didn't do my ultimate workflow, but please, sorry, all my tech is playing with each other here. Okay. Okay, can you guys hear me again? All my devices are connecting with everything today. Okay. Tech is great if it works, isn't it? Okay, anyway, we're back. Click here, you go to export, and then up to export on the top here. This opens your export dialog. Now, I'm not going to go through all these top ones for now. If we have time at the end, we can look at it. We're going to be focusing at watermarking over here. This is where you're going to take ownership of your image when you put it out. Now, again, you can create as many as you want here. So I've got a whole bunch that I've used for courses and stuff, but I've got my Instagram one, I've got a logos based and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, I like that. That's a very cool comment. I could now, for example, start a new one, or I can go back and change another one. So I'm going to start with edit watermarks. If you've got nothing, you go to edit watermarks. It opens the secondary watermark, what's this, window. Okay, now, simple. Here, you can manage your things, your different logos, right? You can change one by one. So if I go to this top one, you can see down here, okay, it's a bit small, we'll go in there now. IG small would be with a solid chameleon, and from there on, you can save as many as you want. Now, I'm going off the top of my head here, Linda, I don't know if it was yours that we did in the office one day. I created watermarks for someone where we created one and then we duplicated it. So it said IG watermark top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, bottom center. You can do that. And then it's easy once you've set it up. Yeah, it was Linda, cool. And then you can just drop it in from here. So that's the easy thing. Okay, how to do it. If we're gonna go over here, I'm going to just start on one that I have, for example, but let me minimize here. Okay, from the top, here at the top, you're going to style text or graphic. Now, if you choose text, you're going to be writing on this thing. If you choose graphic, yeah, you're going to have to use a PNG file that you put on there. You can't put a JPEG. Sorry, I must ask, how many of you do not know what a PNG is? In the chat function, please. PNG file. We know the difference between a PNG and a JPEG, yes? Let me just see if we understand that difference. It's an important one for this. Okay, no, don't know. Okay, right. I'm going to go through it anyway with you. So, I mean, I know it's labeled differently. Nice, Rebecca. Okay, so a PNG background, not on the PNG, quite right. So I will take you to Photoshop after this. I'm going to open up just one of mine, just to explain that to you before I go deeper. Right, so if I open this one up big, can you guys see now, this here is a PNG. It means the background is transparent and you only see the chameleon and the text. If you, for example, put a JPEG here, this entire square would be a white block or a black block, whatever the background is, with the stuff on top. So if you want to have a watermark that looks like this, or for those of you that want to have your signature, you're going to have to do the signature on a page, scan it as a file, a JPEG, take it to Photoshop, line the signature. There's ways in Photoshop we can do that easy enough, and save that new file as a PNG so that so it's transparent background. Does that make sense? Right? A JPEG is not. Let me quickly put. I'm going to just for the sake of example, I'm going to take a PNG and put it on a JPEG and put it on here for you. So I'm going to say, right, give me a graphic. I need to take that one away. And I'm going to choose. So what do I have here? Okay, so that file was, I just screenshot it there. So now can you see now, this now is a JPEG. This is now a JPEG. So there's no see-through. If I wanted to see through this and I would have these black areas transparent, I would have to change it to a PNG inside of Photoshop. This is something Lightroom cannot do. So if you want to create a PNG, I don't know, set up a session with me or one of the guys will show you how to do that. It's not a difficult thing, but you cannot do that inside of Lightroom. So that is a PNG, and then you can manage the rest of it from here. There's nothing wrong with having this as a PNG as your watermark, because you could still manage it. And for example, so you'll see a lot of them like that, and then drop the opacity. So if you have your little logo, you can do it like that. There's not a problem. But if you want that transparent vibe going, then you want a PNG. Okay, but for the purposes of now, I want to start with text to show you how the text works. So you choose up here, watermark style is text, right? Down here in this block, this is where you write what you want to see on your image. You can write copyright. You can just put the copyright logo, that, right? On Mac, for those of you who don't know, it's Option G. Gives you the copyright symbol, and you can write it out. You can do as much as you want here. 2020, I'm not traveling anywhere this year, 2020. And that's what's going to be in here, right? So the first thing you do is you select text, you come down, you type in what you want there, and then from the top, you basically just work top down. You're not going to worry about the image because this is not an image. This is text, right? here, Neo Gray, that's our Wild Eye logo. So it's a bit hard to read on names. So for your watermark, did you combine them both, image and text? No, I did not. So what you're seeing, sorry, are you talking about the Wild Eye one, Charlotte? Yes, so what I did is I combined in Photoshop the logo and the text, and I saved that as a PNG. You can't do double ones in here. So I would choose, for example, Avena, because I know Avena is a very friendly font for online and for reading. And here you can then go down, where do you want the alignment done? That's more if you have a paragraph going. And then if you want a shadow, if you look nicely under my name there, if I turn the shadow on and off, it does add a bit of depth, which I always like. And then these 4 sliders here manages how that shadow works, right? Which angle it goes, so the opacity of the shadow and so forth. So that's up to taste. And you can move these around and you can see as it changes what it does there. So that's up to taste. You then come further down. Watermark effects. Now, if your opacity is at 100, it's quite a crisp and clean watermark. If you want to fade it in a bit, and I'm all for fading, I like it kind of more subtle, is you just drop the opacity. I normally find 75-ish is kind of a happy space. So you can still read it. You can still read it, but it's just a little bit softer. Franco, am I back? Am I back? I hope I'm back. Lots of technical issues tonight. Okay, I'm going to keep going here because it's really cool. This is recording anyway from my side, so when I upload this, it'll be the whole thing. So opacity for me, right about 75 works. Then you come down. Size, proportional, right. So if you're going to do proportional here, the size depends and on the proportion of your actual image. So here you can decide how far. You probably won't go this route. And I see this on Instagram. And you know what, let's just come back here quickly. To me, if you're going to post an image online, and I've seen people who literally, they would write their name 474 times, Gerry, 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 over the image like this, right? Because what if someone steals it? Yes, John, but now it looks like shit. Okay, so you want to find a happy balance where I can see it's yours and I can see your name, but I don't necessarily want to have it ruin the image because that's bad, right? We don't want to ruin the image. So, guys, keep on popping those questions and Q&A. I'll get to those later on. Let's go back to Lightroom here. So we're over here. So this, to me, if you hit fit, it'll fit from side to side. It's like, okay, wow. Just pump the brakes there. If you go full, it'll do that. Now, you know what? Not really great. So I would always try and blend. That's funny. I would always try and blend it in. So I would go and I would say proportional and I would work it over here. Right, size-wise. So obviously too small, stupid, waste of time, but just somewhere there, that can work. Okay, then down. Here, you're not seeing only the export screen. So are you seeing this watermark editor right now? Hello. Export screen. Okay, so let me do this for you. There and there. Okay, I am going to bring you back into Lightroom one more time. Like there, we're going to pick it up from here, export. I'm just taking it back again. All the technical gremlins are with me tonight. It's unbelievable. Edit watermarks. Okay, are we back? Amy, can you see? Please tell me you can. Fantastic. Okay, so like we were saying, we're going text for this one. I've written down here, copyright, Gerry. Then here I go proportional. Opacity for me is around about 75, but guys, this is a taste. I'm just showing you how. I would like proportional. Now watch where it is. It's in the middle here. So this anchor at the bottom you can use, very simple, to anchor it to any position wherever you want it. So when you start doing multiples, right? When you're doing multiples, you can do one here, save it as, move it there, save it as, there, save it as. So then you've got one with the same text, the same settings, but you've got top right, top left, and so on, if you choose to go that route. Alternatively, once you've got it down to this anchor over here, you can use these two sliders, the horizontal and the vertical insets, to decide how far in you want to go. Now, that That could work as one. So what I would be careful of here is the same with the way that you read photography. You don't want to stick this thing right in the corner. I'll do that watermark next. So you don't want to stick it too far in the corner. You still want people's eyes to be able to go around it. It's those small things. It just makes it look a bit more finessed, right? And that is how you do the watermark. I'll show you a PNG next. So at this stage, I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to say, Gerry, bottom left, create. Okay, now it's in here. Got it? If I now go back to edit watermarks, up at the top here, I select Gerry, bottom left. I now move it to the right, and I save it, Gerry, bottom right, create. Okay, now you have the choice of doing both. So it's super simple that once you've set them up, you can just add top right, top left. You can have one for Facebook, one for Instagram, whatever the case might be. But by taking time and just setting all of those up, it becomes a very easy exercise to just quickly bang it in there, all right? To just boom, bottom left and export. Okay, I'm going to come to Q&A quickly, and then I'm going to go show you the PNG version of that, which is back with me here. Let's quickly go into this Q&A. Could a watermark ruin an image? Charlotte asks. Yes, 100%. If you smack it up top and it's just this big, massive thing, right? Yes. If the point is the watermark and not the image, I think it's ruined it. Someone must be able to look at the image and think, wow, Charlotte, that's an insane image. Ah, there's your watermark. It shouldn't be like, ooh, watermark, and then look at the image. Got it? So it's subtle. It's how do I do this? It's subtle yet intentional. It's that fine balance you need to try and find. Make sense? Lisa asks, is there a way to take your signatures and copy from desktop to laptop? Sorry, Lisa, just remind me, is there a way to take a signature and copy it from desktop to laptop? Are you talking about desktop Lightroom and laptop Lightroom? Is that what we're saying here? Just to check from Lisa's point of view. Okay, because, yes, that's it. So if you are running two separate Lightroom catalogs, no, you can't do that. If you run one Lightroom catalog, yeah, and you plug it in, then it will pull them across because the catalog's in the Lightroom brain, in the LRCat file. So once you've got the watermark and you've saved it to your Lightroom, you take your Lightroom catalog, plug it into your other computer, it will take that watermark with. Makes sense? Okay, I'm now quickly going to give you a PNG version of the same thing. And if we have time, I can just quickly show you how to create PNGs. All right, and here we, hang on, one more question, makes sense? Here I go. So the last thing you should ask would help, because just by clicking the watermark will appear left, right. So the last thing you showed us would help us because just by, yes, quite right, quite right. I will do it one more time now. I'm going to take you guys back here and then share the screen over here. Okay, I'm going to chat. I'm going to come back to those Q&A, guys. I'm going to quickly do a PNG for you as well. What is the main, Michael asked, what is the main reason for a watermark? Obviously to show that the artist works, but doesn't need to be strategically placed to avoid cropping. Again, I mean, this is, we're going to kind of wrap up with a bit of a kind of ethical discussion on it, but the main feature of a watermark is to show that this belongs to me. So I'm proud of it, so therefore I put it on. But if I'm not mistaken, this might have changed in the last while, but if you can show ownership of a raw file, that Michael, this is your raw file, copyright remains with you until 50 years after you die, legally. That file belongs to you, right? Then it becomes free stock or whatever they call it at that stage. But what I would do is I would crop, I would process, I would image. That's why the watermark function sits at the export level. So when you export, it puts it wherever you want it. But we'll have a talk about main reason for watermark as soon as we're done here. Okay, so let's take this one now and we go into export, not with previous, export. Okay, ignore, Gerry's making mistakes. Export, there, and we go back to watermark. So I'm going to now say edit watermark. Okay, so in this instant, it still has my Wild Eye logoed one at the bottom, but I want to change that. So you make sure here that you're on graphic, and then here, image options, you choose your image. So in this case, let me go and choose there's my, just see what other PNGs I have on here. Okay, so let's use this one. So that is PNG, .png.jpg. Choose that one. So now it's sitting over there, right? Okay, this is actually a bad example because it's a JPEG and a PNG that looks the same. I'm going to do that again. Edit watermark, choose a different one. Choose, there's the Instagram. I'm going to just use this one. Okay, so if I open this one up big, that's what I've put on there. This is the PNG file. So it starts exactly the same. You go graphic, you go choose, you skip text because there's no text. And in the opacity slider now, you can decide how much. I would normally, if I'm putting a PNG on there, I would have panel beated and kind of finessed that PNG to be the final version that I want. So I would then use opacity maximum. With text, I like to fade it a bit, but with this, because I'm proud of my logo, I would do it that way. Here, same thing is your size. You could go fit, size, you can go full, not really. So let's keep it proportional and do it over there. The bottom stuff works the same. Inset, you can do it there. And then again, you can anchor your PNG wherever you want on the image. Guys, it's that simple. And then when you hit save, it would say Wild Eye logo center, for example. And in future, there they are. So all of those are created. There's the earlier two. You can, for example, create for yourself a social media watermark. You can create a print watermark. I must be honest with you guys, when I do prints, I go and do the signature I do inside of Photoshop because there's a lot detailed and I want to have sizing and blending and where it goes. But everything else runs straight out of here. It is super, super simple. Right, I'm going to come back to you here. Guys, any questions on that? It is really, really the easiest thing. Any questions? I'm going to Q&A here. If you did a huge print, would you use a watermark? Okay, Iago asks. So my opinion on that would be, if I'm going to send someone a digital print that they're going to print, I would put it on there. I've got my signature that I would put on bottom right-hand corner. My prints, bottom right-hand, always, right? I would put it there. If I'm going to give someone a print, then I wouldn't, or send them a print, like the actual thing, yeah? Then I wouldn't do it digitally. I would go old school because it's a cool feeling to print big ass, one of your own stuff, and then take a pen or a Cokie and sign it in the bottom. So if I did a huge print myself, like my lion picture over there, I would sign it in the corner. If I'm sending a digital file for print, then I would have it as a part of the image like I showed you now. So yes, but again, if you're doing it for print, remember, then you got to be more careful of, are you ruining the image? Because on a wall, you don't want it to be there. The image needs to be strong enough that someone looks at it and thinks, shit, this is good. I wonder who this is. And they, there it is. This is Michael's or Iago's or Lisa's or whatever. Okay. So let me just check another question in here. Are there some images you shouldn't watermark? So Charlotte's question is, competitions, they would say, don't put anything on there. But no, there's no right and wrong here. I would say if you're going, and we're doing social media on Thursday, it's going to be a more in-depth thing into social media and photography. But I would always watermark my images that I put on social media. Not that I'm hoping someone don't steal it, because they probably will still. That if someone sees it, they share it, at least my name's on there, because you should be proud of it. There might be an argument that if I take a picture on here and I take a picture and I kind of post it straight from here, that I don't have to watermark it because it's straight from the phone to my feed. That's fine. That's fine. You can. I mean, Charlotte, if you want to, you can even copyright your watermark your selfies if you want. Don't. But no, I think anything that you've processed and you've put work in that you are proud of, that is a copyright, that's a piece of art, put it on there. Anything else, let it go. I wouldn't even worry. Okay. Guys, any questions so far? Any questions so far on watermarking? It's super simple. It's super simple. And if you set it up once, literally, whenever you open your Lightroom again, go and open 10, 15, and create all of them. Top right, top middle, top left, and. Then you can do PNGs as well, and you save all of them before. Then you never have to worry about it again. But let me just show you one thing, and this is important just as a reminder. For those of you that did my ultimate workflow, if, for example, I don't know, pick anything. Let's say we're going to export this one, right? And I leave IG small as my current watermark, or let's go the one we created, bottom left, and I leave that. And I now export that image, okay? When I then, okay, so there's my image now, and there's copyright Gerry in the corner, okay? If I now export subsequent or set new images, and I say export with previous, it keeps that setting. It'll keep that setting. So the moment I then look there, here's Gerry at the bottom left. So if you want to have multiple ones, just remember that you have to change it per export. If you're happy, that's why for me, the bottom center works. Regardless of what the image is, sometimes it disappears because it might be a busy area at the bottom. I don't care. It's easy for me down in the center. But if you want to choose those, just be aware that on every single export, you've got to make sure that, that it's going to the right place and it is the right one. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? As a little bonus, and I don't know if this is to you, for those of you that want to do the signature thing, right? What I could maybe try and do, I might be going away for a couple of days, but if not, I'll try and do a video for you guys, right? A video for you guys where I literally sign and I'll show you how to do it in Photoshop. Do you want me to quickly go to Photoshop and show you how to do a PNG? I'm talking fly through it, just very quick. Okay, I'm gonna open my Photoshop Salon just while that's loading, and then just give you a very, very quick rundown of how you could do that. Okay. Sally, just pop that into the Q&A for me and I will get there as soon as we are done with this. Okay, I'm going to go and just quickly see here. Okay, I've now opened, and I'll show you now in Photoshop. Right. Okay, so now we're in Photoshop. Can you guys please confirm you can see this lioness? You can see my lioness. Yes, you can. Okay, so this is, if you're not very agile in Photoshop, don't worry, speak to me. Yes, the video will be available on the Wild Eye YouTube channel. We have a playlist for every single free webinar that we've done. Everything's on there. It's only the premium webinars, which is 2 hours, which we only send to the people who've signed up. But this will be available. Okay, so in a very quick sense, what you're trying to do now, if you look over here, this image is flat. It's a JPEG, right? This is a JPEG. Up here you can see Gerry-33.jpg. In order to turn this into a PNG, you have to tell the computer what I want to keep and what I want to lose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly through here and I'm going to say, right, let me select this lioness. Okay, so just kind of there, the auto selection tool. And okay, that's not perfect, but it'll do. Okay, now I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say layer via copy. Okay, so now if you look on the left, on the right hand side here, you've got layer 1, which is my copied version, and the background is still there. Okay, so now if I hide the bottom version, that's what's left. Okay, I now need to save this, not that, that as the PNG. So let me go deeper, and Charlotte, I think this will answer your question as well from earlier on. Let's do this. Okay, let's just add some text in there like that. Okay, and that would now hopefully be a PNG that we can use. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock the bottom layer. Watch that again. Because it's locked, it's the background. If I put it back, that's what it is. Okay, I remove the back layer, I click on the little padlock, and I delete it. Now it doesn't exist anymore. So this is what I'm dealing with now. Now what I do is I say File, Save As, and I'm going to just put this on my desktop for now. Desktop. And I want to save this as a PNG, right? And then I hit Save. Brings up the PNG. Don't worry about the details on that. Just hit OK. And then let's see if this worked. I hope this worked. Okay, that made sense. Pretty quick. Okay, select an area, layer it via copy, delete everything else and leave. You can add text and stuff on it as well. So now, and I hope I'm right here, I flew through that. Let me take you back to Lightroom quickly over here. Okay, sorry, just confirm with all the screen sharing, you guys can see my Lightroom? Okay, you can see my Lightroom, yes, okay. So if we now go, let's do this one. And now we say to this, okay, export, export. I'm gonna go to Watermark and I'm gonna say edit Watermark. And then what are we gonna do? We have to say it's a graphic. I need to choose and I'm gonna go to desktop. I'm gonna put that on top and I make it bigger and there's your PNG. Pretty sweet, yeah? So it's not difficult. You must just understand a little bit of layering. A little bit of layering. Did that make sense of how we created that PNG and how we did that? It's not a crazy difficult thing. It's really, really simple. So Sally, for you and one of you that asked, all you need to do for a signature, literally take a piece of paper, white, pure white, not that, that's messy, paper, thick as Sharpie, like a permanent marker, and sign. I normally would go on a page like this. I would sign 1, 2, 3, 4 times, scan it in at high resolution, scan it in, put it into Photoshop and do what I just did. Take a fine selection tool, select your entire signature, right click on it, say layer via copy, delete the base layer, save it as a PNG, done. It's that simple. I didn't think we would actually get to do that, but that was pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to Q&A one more time over here. Are there some images you should watermark? We didn't. Tracy, Gerry, was there a webinar for printing mentioned lately? I can't find a link. Very interested. I will check for you now. I think there's a social media one and a print one next week. I will check for you. Charlotte, if your watermark is your brand, logo, or very well known, does that mean you shouldn't change it? For example, if you were to change your Wild Eye watermark, we're kind of going towards branding here, but an interesting discussion. We had this discussion in the Wild Eye office and we're having it right now because we're looking at a bit of a CI change, our corporate identity. We will never, ever, ever change the chameleon. Where's this? Never. We will never change the chameleon. But we might do subtle changes like the font might get fatter, thinner, more dark brown, less light brown, a new font injected. But if you know what your brand is, Charlotte, keep that, don't change it. If it's strong, don't change it. Tweak it, but don't change it. That doesn't make sense. But you know what I mean? Don't mess with it if it's not broken. But yeah, that's it. Tracy, what I will do is during the course of tomorrow on my own Instagram, I will load all of my upcoming webinars. The next one that I'm looking at next Wednesday, maybe, is something in the line of 25 people only, and every single person sends a difficult raw file that they're struggling with, and we then work as a group through all of them. But stay tuned for that. Lisa, great, thank you. Tracy, if you look at Lisa's comment there, she shared that with you as well. Guys, I will put that out tomorrow. If you have any questions, you know where to get hold of me. I am online on Instagram and on email, WhatsApp, everything. And let me know if I can help. Happy watermarking. Let me know if you have questions. Wherever in the world you are, guys, good morning, good evening, and good night. My name is Gerry. I'm from Wild Eye. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.